Okay, so just before the podcast does start, my mic was pretty shit all the way through. I sound really laggy and robotic. I sound pretty much like Optimus Prime, but it's just me. Josh and Lee is still audible, so please put that in aware. I tried to fix it in editing, but I'm no fucking pro editor. I'm shit at it, so I sound really fucking shit. But hopefully for the next podcast, I fix it. Either way, enjoy the podcast. Like, subscribe, comment who you want on next, and enjoy. I'm recording it in OBS. And then I
Barry, do you want to kick it off?
Oh yeah, sure. Lee, we need to know about the Owen Powell beef and everything around it. Like, how did it start? Like, what started it? What kicked it off?
So far it is. So.
Because he just has. What started the Owen Powell beef? I just saw his channel and saw that guy makes shit videos. I could probably knock him out, and so I wanted to fight him, and that's what started it off. Because, to be honest, he'll be at Witsy, I'll be at Talkfest, but I will still put him down on the ground, and he'll be. People think this is more like a boxing match. I'm going to treat this like a scrap. He's just going to be a dead man.
So it's
Right.
like an all-out brawl. It's not even a boxing fight at this point.
But
It's
this is
a
wild.
straight UFC fight.
So sorry, let me get it. So it started just because you didn't like him and you're like, I could beat this guy up. And now we're having a sanctioned fight at a YouTuber event.
It started because his normal, and this is not meant to insult him, but his normal face just looks like he's pissed off all the time. He just sits there like this.
Okay.
Dude, he's a big angry, scary
Right.
fucking Owen Powell, in my opinion. He's a tall guy, though, Lee.
And by the
Yeah.
way, I just want to say, Owen, if you're watching this, I'd start training if I were you, because this isn't going to work out.
That leads perfectly on to our next question. Have you started any training? Are you working out in any way to start this?
Yes, I have.
Oh, what have you been up to then, Lee?
Yeah, I've been, my push-ups. I've been boxing. Yeah, I'm probably going to practice on my dad before I go to Witsy, to be honest.
You're gonna beat your dad up,
Spark
Jesus
out your dad.
Christ!
And then go to spark it out. Okay, we get it. That's pretty good.
I'm sorry for your
Okay.
dad.
I also feel sorry for that. You didn't do that. Are you aware of the height difference between you and Owen? Because Owen's a very tall man. Is that gonna affect anything, or have you planned against that?
I don't need to worry about his height, because his height is just a number. He doesn't
Oh,
know.
age.
Sorry,
Can you
what-
hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah, we hear you.
Height is just a number. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's literally just. In fact, I would go as far to call Owen Powell irrelevant, because he's just.
Whoa.
He's a prick, basically.
Oh, he's a prick. Okay.
Yeah, but with the whole height thing, he's just.
A tall man. You can't
Yeah,
deny
he's-
he's a tall man.
I asked him how tall he was, and he said he was 6'4".
He's 6'4". He generally is 6'4".
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can see the picture of him next to like Tom GW, and Tom GW
Yeah,
is a relatively like decent size man.
I am 5'10", yeah?
Okay.
4 inches isn't going to make that much of a difference.
Oh,
It doesn't
sorry.
matter how tall he is.
That's not. Never mind. Okay. What's the next one? You said you were working on a diss track. When do you think that'll be coming out? Any hints onto that?
Lee, and any hints?
I have written half of the diss track.
Written
I
half
just got to get the ending done. I want to get on a FaceTime call with Owen at some point to. There's basically one insult that I'm going to throw at him, and that I want to see what he says. So I'm going to record a FaceTime call with him for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to put that in the diss track. So I'm in the middle of filming it. It'll be out within the next few weeks.
That's good. We can get him in a FaceTime call with you if you wanted. Like, we can make that happen quite soon.
Like, to be honest, I'm in Pals from Manchester. If all this lockdown wasn't going on, I'd be very, very happy to wake up one morning and go to Manchester and see what he's got to offer.
Fair enough.
Fair point. Can't argue that.
Okay. Right. Final question to do with the fight. Do you have a round prediction for when you're going to beat him? Like, how long do you think it'll be? Is it going to be rounds, or like how long do you think it'll take you to beat him?
I think he'll start off strong and get weak. I think I will have beaten him within 20, 25 minutes.
That's a lot of minutes. That's a long fight.
Yeah, but I'm going to let him
That's
start. No, this is my plan. I'm going to let him start off strong, and as he gradually gets weaker, that's when I'll throw my punches.
25 minutes of fighting, you're gonna look like a fucking raisin. You're gonna be dried up and just dead.
Do you want if you want some advice, right? He's a very tall guy, very skinny. Go for his legs, man. They'll just snap and he'll drop. We've seen him; they bend anyway when he stands.
Yeah, he's like a daddy long legs.
Yeah, he is.
Kick him in the knee and you're done.
Kick him in the shin.
Okay, Barry, what topic do you want to go to next? We should go to a lesser, not as deep one. A little fun one for now.
We could talk about the amount of people you block on Twitter. Because obviously, I'm in group chats with people, and all the time it's just like, Lee Larner's blocked me, Barry, can you please tell Lee Larner to unblock me? I just want to see his amazing tweets. That is a quote, okay? That is a quote, that's not just me saying that. It is a quote.
If that's a quote, I'd like a screenshot, please, after this.
I'll
don't
try and
think
find
it
one.
is.
It will be in a chat.
Yeah. But why do you have so many people blocked, bro? Anytime they criticize you, they just instantly get blocked instead of you hearing them out.
I have about 24 people blocked. Okay? About 6 of those are famous people, the celebrities. People that don't even follow me, I just don't like them.
Yeah.
For example, Little Mix is a perfect example.
Little Mix.
What have Little Mix done to you, man?
What did Little Mix do?
Because they're just so... I just don't like them, okay?
Fuck the
Taylor
right?
Swift's blocked as well, by the way.
I agree with that one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, shake that.
Why do I block so many people?
Yeah, why do you-
Maybe because if they weren't salty, I wouldn't have to block them.
Salty. I feel
I don't think that's salty, bro. Like, you block people if, like, as soon as they say anything negative about you. Right, yeah, good.
You just forgot to push talking.
I wouldn't say I block people when they've got something negative to say about me. I say that I just block people if... Just block people if I feel like they're being too salty towards me. And then probably 3 months down the line I'll unblock them.
Right, okay, so if we were to pass this message on to people that you have blocked, what would we tell them? How would they stay unblocked by Lee Larner? What would your advice be?
Subscribe to Lee Larner.
Obviously.
And follow... No, actually, don't subscribe to Lee Larner.
Oh, don't subscribe to Lee Larner. Oh.
Are you gonna block
Say
your TikTok
follow-
here? Is this where the TikTok
Follow
is
Lee-
blocked?
Follow Lee Larner on TikTok.
There it is.
Because he's posting 10 TikToks a day.
Jesus
And
Christ.
We have seen your TikToks. They're very good, Lee.
thank you very much. And I actually just think that if you follow me on TikTok, then you're a G, you're a legend, and you will stay unblocked. And this, I'm not saying everybody has to follow me on TikTok, but
But they have
you
to
know,
be.
if you do, then
You're a living legend.
yeah.
So are you like mainstreaming over to TikTok? So like you prefer to do TikTok than YouTube videos? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, I get you there. Like TikToks are better to make. Like the more you can be yourself more in TikToks.
Are you leaving YouTube then?
I will probably do a few more videos, and despite of how well they go or don't go, then I'll probably move over to TikTok.
Wow, that's a big statement. Like, you know, like your TikToks, what they get like 100 views. That's, you know, are you sure you'd want to give up your YouTube channel for a very mid-level of success?
Yes, because it's not about that. It's about I grow followers on TikTok a lot faster than I grow subscribers on YouTube. If I spent the same amount of time on YouTube if I spent the same amount of time on TikTok that I have on YouTube, then this is just a prediction with the people that watch my YouTube is that I'd have 10 times what I have subscribers. So I'm saying that if I spent the same amount of time, I've just past 300, so I'd have about 3,000 followers, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot better.
So you're saying if you went to TikTok, you say that you could easily grow faster than you would on YouTube if you stayed on YouTube.
Yes,
Okay.
because this is the reason I'm going to Talkfest and not Winter in the City. Because
because obviously you're with more people, you can try to get collabs with bigger TikTokers, and you'd be better than going to a YouTube.
The thing with TikTok is it's not about the collabs. It's about I'll put in a little secret. The way I used to get people to subscribe to my channel is I used to go to Sitsy and I used to airdrop people my channel. And what I do from looking at Josh,
Josh is honestly sat there, oh my god, why is this a thing?
And that used to get me it used to be okay. Now I think if I did that on TikTok, man, I think that could be even better. I mean, I'm even thinking about using my dog for followers.
The poor dog, man. The poor dog.
I mean, I think it's smart to put more effort into TikTok, but I don't think it's a good idea to leave YouTube in general. That's just my opinion. Obviously, no one's going to stop you, but the YouTube platform will be very sad to see the exit of Lee Larner.
I mean, I have had a good time on YouTube. I remember when I snuck into YouTube Space, you're supposed to have 10,000 subscribers to go there.
How about the reaction to BoGW? That's gotta be one of your favourite videos, don't deny it. I think it was incredible.
I mean, I think if Tom watches this, listen, mate, if you race, let me think of somebody, not Jack, but if you race,
he's racing Owen right now.
Yeah,
is he racing Owen?
Yeah, him and Owen
Yeah,
are very
they're
tied and stuff pretty much.
Right. If you race Owen to 10k, I think the one that loses should shave their pubes at Whitsey.
I don't think that's going to go down too quickly. I don't think anyone is willing to whip their cock out and their pubes.
Fucking dicks out for Lee Larner, man.
It's an idea, I suppose.
I'm sure Tom GW has a lot of females who can very easily just do it for him. Owen Powell probably doesn't have any, to be honest.
Yeah,
he's in the budget.
Owen Powell's no.
So what do you think your best video on YouTube is then? It's just one on the subject. Would it be the YouTube Headspace one, whatever it was called? YouTube Space?
The thing is when I snuck into YouTube Space, I was talking to people there who had like over 100k. It was by far one of the best days I had, but it's not one of the best videos I've made because I couldn't tell them about my channel. I had to be very careful. Because if I told them about my channel, then I'd probably get thrown out or something. So, I mean, I just took advantage of the free drink service they had there. Free Coke.
What a lad.
Yeah.
I can't blame you, fairness. I've never been to it. It's the one in London, isn't it? There's one in London.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, obviously I've watched videos on it and heard about it, but obviously never been near it. Just don't want to venture down south.
I got on YouTubers' channels who have over 100,000 subscribers. There was a vlogger there called, I don't know if you've watched his videos. He's called Simon Wilson.
No,
I've
I don't
never
know.
heard of him.
Okay,
Never heard
all
of
right.
him.
Basically, he's snuck into the Brits. He does a lot of sneaking videos, and I got myself on his channel.
I suppose that was
Fair enough.
beneficial.
Honestly.
You know, if we're talking about good videos on the Lee Larner channel, your last one was, you know, surprisingly pretty decent. Not surprisingly, I'm kidding. It was quite decent. I rated it. It was a more vlog style of video. It was. I liked it. It was good. If you were to keep doing YouTube, would you keep doing those sorts of videos?
Well, I mean, I have the spinny wheel.
Oh, I've seen the
Behind.
spinning wheel. I saw
We've
it
seen
behind
the
me a
spinning
second
wheel.
ago.
We like the spinning wheel.
Yeah,
We love this
I
spinning
have
wheel.
I don't know. Can we see? No. I have the spinning wheel, so I'll have to obviously make use of that.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, right. Do not put this on out of context Twitter, but I do like children. So, listen.
I'm
Listen.
listening.
Whoa, do I keep that in the cut or do I cut that? I don't know if I can keep that in.
Cut that, Barry, otherwise I'll block you.
Yeah, I don't want to get blocked by Lou.
Right. I do like children, and so I'm thinking maybe the children's entertainment part of YouTube is probably better.
I mean, to word it better for you, Lee, family-friendly content. Not you like kids. You prefer more family-friendly videos, like how Morgs transitioned from FIFA videos to doing Morg shit with his mum and Bob Martin.
Bob Martin's a G. Don't diss Bob Martin.
Oh,
Mate,
yeah,
Jules
we
Rex,
love
man.
It's the beans and burgers. That's what it's all about.
Beans and burgers.
Beans
That's
is
it.
the funniest shit I've ever seen, bro.
Yeah, no, I think I'll probably do more of that type of thing.
Yeah, we'd
And
like.
just, but that's not saying no to the diss track. The diss track is
The diss
definitely
track is
coming.
Oh
definitely
yeah, we got to see this track, of course.
Yeah, and I did actually ask Tom G. One thing I will expose myself about is I did say to Tom GW, is there anything that I can diss Owen on? And I'm not going to say what it is, but then I asked a follow-up question about what did I say? Oh yeah, I said, do you know any of Owen Powell's exes? Because listen. I was going to. Part of the distract is I was basically part of me dissing him is I was basically just going to try and slide in their DMs and do a screen recording and kind of stick that in, just try and piss him off a bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, I have got something in the diss track about Owen Powell's sex life that I can say.
Oh right, okay.
How about your sex life, Lee?
Yeah, tell us about your sex life, Lee.
Well, if I lose the fight, then I thought that I have to start an OnlyFans and we can talk about it there.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I might as well just pull my trousers down at Witsy because if you think about it,
I'm going to recommend don't.
I don't think security would like that. Even with the kids there and anybody there, we don't want to see that. Okay. We don't want to see that.
No, because if you think about it, I've got to leak it anyway if I lose. So why not just?
I mean, you can't prepare to lose, Lee. Like that just...
You can't have that mentality.
Yeah.
You've got to. I'm going to win.
I'm not going to lose because Owen Powell's a pussy and he's.
Owen Powell's a pussy.
Yeah, he is.
He does like cats, fans. He has a lot of cats.
Oh, shut up.
He also. Yeah.
You also what? Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that. Can you remember a couple of? I did this with Josh. Can you remember when I made it into a TikTok as well about Black Rooster.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. I said
Black-
I said to you something like how many legs or how many
Yeah, I remember.
wings has a black rooster got, and I tried to doing it to Owen, but then he just replied and put, "I'm airing you." Ha 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 ha.
I'm pretty sure you sent it to me, and I told you that I don't want to be part of like a racial fucking thing. I remember the DM ages ago. That was class. We stand your TikToks, I don't know how much.
Oh yeah, we love your TikToks. We watch them all the time. Watch them together.
Thank you. I've done the dog egg challenge today.
I saw
thought
that, I
one
just saw
minute
that.
ago.
We love your
We
dog.
were we were looking at your TikTok before we started just to see if you'd made new content.
And then I'm gonna do I want to. I can't yet because I actually need to buy one. But I want to do the when somebody's playing on their phone in the street. I want to run up behind them, snatch it out of their hands, smash it, and then just give them like a brand new one.
Do you have a phone to give them? Do you have
He was gonna smash the phone with a Nokia like brick or something. Smash that iPhone 11 and give him a fucking £10 phone.
Wait, that's a good idea for Witsy. I could go around smashing people's phones.
I would not recommend that.
Yeah, you will get beaten up more than you will in a power fight.
I could do it to Owen Powell.
That won't go down well. He's
Yeah,
only
that
just
wouldn't
40
go
bucks,
well.
man.
He would be a very angry man.
You wouldn't like Owen when he's angry.
Big scary old pal.
It's not that scary.
He's terrifying, man. I'm terrified.
He's a pussy. He's not that scary.
I'm
You're right,
very
he's
scared.
big pussy. I've got a DM where he confirmed he's a pussy to me.
Send that. Can you send that to me? No, please do it.
Fine, I'll send you that DM.
Josh is not
Thank
really,
you.
that's going to be part of the diss track as well.
Oh, mate, Owen's gonna fuck me now.
I don't
You're going to
care.
get blocked by a win.
Right, okay, well, let's move on to something else.
Okay,
Unless
alright,
you-
wait, I got a really important question for you, Lee. Are you listening? We need to know this. Is your dick really 15 inches? Because whenever you're on call with us, like when I stream over on Twitch,
You did
in the
tell us that
description,
on very
you
live.
always tell us that your dick is like 10 or 15 inches. We need to know, do you have like an illegal weapon downstairs? Like, what's going on?
What's going on is it's called surgery. And what happens is, actually, that Dr. Barry thing you put on Twitter a couple of...
Oh, that was jokes, allow him.
No, listen. I'm thinking that you could perhaps help me out.
Your dick's smaller.
No, make it longer.
Is it not long enough right now? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
You don't like
that,
how long it is right now. You're ashamed of your penis size. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean like it's. Well, we'll see if I lose the fight, and if I don't lose the fight, we'll never know.
True.
So were you lying when you told us it was 15 inches?
I was lying. It's 20.
It's 20.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
No, not really. It's 10.
it's 10. Okay, that's
That's
much
even
more
better, mate.
reasonable.
Honestly, even better.
That's much more reasonable. Oh,
Honestly.
nice yellow shot.
We stand the jelly.
Okay, right, Lee. The next bit might be, a bit deep. Would you be okay to talk about the story with the drug dealer or not for our podcast? Yeah. I see by your.
As he has a
We'll
mouthful
let
of
you
jelly.
finish your jelly. So, Lee, you told us that there was a big sort of drug-related incident. Would you care to expand more on that? Tell us the story of the drug story. Yeah, that's pretty much
How it
it.
started, I got involved and stuff.
So, I joined college in September for a new year, sixth form, and I met a drug dealer on it. And he later became my friend.
So was he like on your course or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he later became my friend, and then I started hanging out with him. And as time went on, he introduced me to more and more people. I can't tell you everything because it goes on for so long. And then one time he suggested that I become a dealer, and I was a bit like, because of the people he introduced me to, and because the people I know who he knew, I knew that my only answer really was yes. So I agreed.
So
I
you
didn't
was
even
like
agree.
you was like manipulated into saying yes. Like you
Yes.
couldn't really say
Yeah.
no. I know a lot of I'm not gonna lie, I know people who, have gone into drug dealing and do drug deal, and it's one of those things where the people who you hang around with who get you involved in drug dealing, you just can't say no to them. Like you can't say no. Once you know a lot about somebody who's like a dealer, you can't say no to something like they want.
Yeah.
I
And
do
then
remember.
this was all November. And then to become a dealer, you've got to have a good to even start it, you've got to have a good £500 to actually get the supplies. And then so the first thing is, because at the time I was 18, it was about getting me involved with loans. But he would say things like, you don't need to pay it back because you'll be making so much money anyway, it won't even be an issue. He sorted all the guarantors and things out for me, and he just tried to sign me up for these things. And yeah, and then because all the loans got rejected, what then that's when threats started coming in. So he'd be very peak. He'd say say things like, I had to sell my MacBook. I had to pawn it because the idea was I was going to buy it back. But I'll get to why I couldn't buy it back in a minute. But I had to pawn my MacBook, a Canon DSLR, to get the £500. And he said, don't worry, you'll be able to pay it back, just like with a loan. And because, I don't know if people know this, but I'm autistic, so when you say something to me, I believe you.
Yeah,
If you sound believable, then I am going to believe you.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And then, do you know what it means when you tick drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had he set me up a Snapchat to sell these things on for people to meet me. And it was called Cheap Deals. Deal with an Z.
Obviously.
And then it had the name of the city where I was doing all this that I'm not going to mention.
Yeah.
And once he had the £500, I met two guys. They were about 16, and they went to this guy's primary school, and he knew there were bad news, and I knew that when they'd gone that I was getting in trouble. But anyway, at this point he had the money because I gave him the £500, because there's no other reason why I'd go along and sell everything I ever owned. I mean, now I have to edit on a Windows PC because I literally do not have a MacBook to do it. And so when I gave him the money, he took it back to his house. He went back to his house with this other one of his associates in the drugs, and he said the £500 got robbed, and he couldn't give me my supplies. And then he suggested ticking people. So I found two people who me and him thought, or he led me to believe, were lightweights. Like, they were people we could steal from and not have to suffer any consequences. So we ticked, I think it's like £200 worth of weed brownies. And once we ticked the brownies, we had them. I gave them to him. They were for him to sell, for him to give me my stuff back, and he didn't do it. And then I went back, and then the following day, They met me outside my college and basically robbed me. Well, they tried to rob me. They wanted money out of my bank, but then as soon as we got to the bank, I just told someone at NatWest, and they ran away. And then the person I told at the bank called the police, and then I had to. Part of police officers all around the country is like CID officers. They're basically people who solve murders, drug deals, that kind of thing. And I told them everything. They had CCTV footage, and then they took my phone to extract all the messages between me and the other dealers, and then they came back to me and said that there's nothing we can do about it because they're only 16. And I was very disappointed with that because I thought they were gonna
Resolve
gonna
your,
go
issues.
yeah. And they just changed my attitude. And that's basically what happened. Is I basically got robbed of about £500-600. Never got my stuff, so I couldn't get my money back, which means I couldn't pay, which means that all these things got sold. And they had some really, I mean, they had videos on there that I'd filmed at like Summer in the City 2018 that I'd kept on there for memories purposes. And when they were given in with all the SD cards, so they were all. So I was disappointed. And then one thing that the feds did do for me is they did pull me out of college. They said you're never going to go back and see these people.
Which is good for you, and you're obviously your mental health behind that. Obviously, I guess
that's
a bad part of it.
So they said you're going to do your work from home. You're going to go in to do the exams in June, but that's the only time you're ever going to go back to the city. And they said when you go back to the city, we're going to make sure that you are because I don't know if you know about colleges have like security. Yeah. So they said we're going to make sure that that there is at least one security guard at the college on the day of each exam to escort you to your room until you go in and bring you back until you see your parents and get in the car and go. And so I was like, at that point, like in terms of the college, I was the student with the top priority because like my life is on the line here. If I bump into these people, it's not going to be good news, and it's just a good job that they're small time dealers, because if they were big time dealers, I'm gonna be I probably wouldn't be living right now because I probably would have been shocked through all the robberies that happened. And when beef happens between them, it's not like beef on Twitter, it's violent beef. You get beat up. I mean, there were people that got hurt for the wrong reasons, that didn't deserve to get hurt. There are people who, I even robbed from one of the biggest drug dealers in the city. It was a Z, which is a slang term for an ounce of weed, which is worth about £160. And what I tried to do, or what I was told to do, was take counterfeit money to him and get them that way. And he'd already been scammed once before, so when I gave him the counterfeit money, if he he could tell, but he was like, when I gave it to him, he was very suspicious of it. But the counterfeit money, the way you could tell is all the serial numbers were the same on the notes. So and that's obviously, you wouldn't get that with real money.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get two notes that have the same serial number. It just doesn't happen. And one thing drug dealers know what to do is look at money carefully when you're making sales, because if you get robbed, unless you're going up to somebody who's just starting out, you can't then rob it back in a way. Because some people are just smarter than you. And And when we're talking about one of the biggest people, this was like a 30, 40-year-old guy, very tall, tough. He did own a gun. So I said to him, when he said he wanted to check the money, I said, here, take the bud, meaning like the weed. I said, here, take it. And I said, you can check the money as well. And then he said, man, this is fake. And then I made a classic excuse. I says, yeah, my boss told me to do it. And then I gave a false name. And I'm just lucky, and it was raining. It just felt something was going to be bad, and this was all after college, so it was like pitch black. When it gets dark early, it was on one of them days, and it's just a miracle with the level with how high up in the drug business he is, that he didn't get his gun out and
Okay.
shoot me. And there was another time when I was introduced to somebody else who does fake IDs, because I know I'm old enough to go clubbing and everything, but it was New Year's Eve, and because they all want to make money, they didn't tell me I needed an ID. They told me I was going to a house party, and then when I got there, we were actually going clubbing, but I didn't have any IDs on me, so I found this person. I had to give him, I had to pay him I had to pay him half price. And the rule is that if the ID gets confiscated, you have to pay the full price for it, because I can't get it back and I can't give it to anybody else. That's how they made the money, by charging half.
That's how a lot of people do, like fake IDs.
Yeah. And then I got sent threats. He told me he was going to come to my house. Because I lived so far away, he didn't. And so that was another way I was lucky, is that I lived so far away from my college. I lived like 30, 40 miles away. I have to get to the train home. So because I lived so far, nobody would ever know where I lived. So nobody would ever be able to catch me. Obviously, if I committed a crime, that's different. The police can do things, but I can't just. They don't want the money back that much that they're going to get on a train or a bus or a car and just travel north for 30 miles. But there are a lot of bad things that happened. And then when I was talking to the police, there was a risk, and the risk was that I'm sitting there and I'm saying to them I was a drug dealer, and they've got that recorded on a statement, and I had to kind of appear on had to be questioned.
Like a court summary and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because they had proof that I was autistic, and somebody was able to say that autistic people are very easily manipulated, I got off.
Well, to be fair, you should have got off really, because how I just like obviously we've never spoken about it before, so like how I'm saying now is like how I just read it is that you've really got highly manipulated into doing what this guy wanted to do. And if he wanted to, get bigger like groups of drugs from other people, he would like prefer to send you, because you wouldn't know to say no if it's a bad idea, and he fake IDs. He would use you to scam you, pretty much.
Yeah, there used to be people who would go on my Snapchat who would set up drug dealers, and I was the person who was taking the legit money and going to collect, and I would be collecting from them, but I wouldn't know what's been said in any of these Snapchat messages, so I wouldn't know how much it's for, what I'm getting. I'm literally just giving money to someone and getting a bag. So then if, for example, if I've been sent to buy acid and I come back with weed, then I'm going to get the kick in from somebody along the line.
They use you to do their dirty work, even though they didn't tell you what to do. They just send you out.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And another thing was, what they tend to do is when a lot of kids, sort of like year 10, year 11 kids, start going into drug dealing, what they'll do is if the police know about a drug deal, from my experience, what they'll do is they'll to get rid of it, so they don't get arrested, they'll get one of the younger kids to basically take 10 tabs of acid, basically commit suicide, so they don't have to get questioned or anything. So when the police search them, they've got nothing on them and they can just go.
Wow.
Okay.
So unfortunately, a lot of people do die through this, even if it's through the evil actions of a big lord. And the rule is that if you don't listen, you're done.
You're
It's
very,
something
you're
you
very
have to be
deep
very
involved as well.
careful.
I mean, yeah, in my opinion, it doesn't sound like it was your fault. That's all, really. You manipulated. It's sad, yeah.
No, and obviously, I take.
Wait, can I ask you a question real quick before you say?
Yeah.
Do you know that, like, the people you were involved in, did they, like, know you were autistic beforehand? Like, did they know about, like, your illness, in a way?
Yeah, because I told them.
Okay, yeah, so it's
And
obviously,
yeah, so one thing actually says I'm autistic too, but I can, because I genuinely was, I can see through the lines whether someone is or isn't. You don't even need to tell me. If an example is if I met somebody at Winter in the City who I never met before, and they said they're autistic, I'd know before they told me that I was autistic. So it's a something that you just, I can see through it, and it's just, I mean, this guy used to ring up my mum because we had no money for a hotel because he wanted to use credit card fraud to get into a hotel. He basically had a list of, he used to go on to Gumtree, and basically he would get his friends to give him 5-star reviews and everything, and then he used to basically get people's credit card information. Basically, we'll deposit. This was also a manipulated thing. We'll deposit £1,000 into your account if you pay us 1,500. So he was making money and getting people's credit card information, and then he'd list all this on a Google Docs document, and then he tried using each one of the credit cards at a different hotel. And obviously, with credit cards, what happens is you buy what you want, and then you pay it on interest, so it goes through anyway. And he doesn't. He just used them all, and none of them worked. So we rang up my mum and had such a manipulative voice, because I was standing near him at the time, and I just couldn't believe the way he was talking to people. And he says, he tried to get me to make money all sorts of ways. One way that was suggested was me living in a crack house for a week.
Oh, God.
But they get raided a lot,
Yeah.
so I wasn't up for that.
I know
And not only that, is people who are manipulated in those type of environments get beaten a lot. So that is, I mean, I spoke to my mum about it at the time, because me and her were having big rows about this.
So was your mum, like, involved in it?
No, but she saw what was happening. But because I was autistic, I couldn't see through the lines.
So, yeah, so obviously, like, would you say, like, when it was happening, you were telling your mum, like, what you were doing, or, like, was she just, like, completely, like...
No, I used to go on call with him, and she'd kind of listen through the
Okay,
door,
okay.
and then she'd kind of know what was happening. It was kind of like they were very difficult times, because I was having arguments, and I tried to sort it, and then some outs would kick off, and I'd have to sort that. So it was a very difficult thing to deal with, because it was hard, because I remember revealing on, it was hard because I wanted to talk to her to get help, but at the same time, because I was autistic, I found it very hard to socialise in a schooling or an educational environment. So as soon as I found somebody who I thought genuinely wanted to be my friend, I took it so much that I'm not going to say I was alone, because I wasn't, but I still found it hard to talk to people first.
Oh, I was alone. I was happy for it. I was a massive voter in school.
Yeah, and once I'd got this person who I thought was interested in being my friend, I just wanted to keep it flowing. So that's how I got drawn into it.
Mm.
But these are things. But when he would say to me, during parties like New Year's Eve, typical celebrations, like he would be very careful what he gave me. So he knew I had epilepsy, so he would Google beforehand something along the lines of, is cocaine safe to use for people with epilepsy? Because that's what I have, epilepsy and autism. Because if he then killed me, he knew that the police would crack down on it, they would find him, they would arrest him, and he would go down for murder. And he knew that. So he had to make sure that what he gave me wasn't going to kill me, and that's how we got around with it. If I never told him I had epilepsy or autism, my guarantee is he would have given me something that wasn't safe for me, and I would have not been able to live.
Obviously, my dad has epilepsy, so like obviously some stuff like going out clubbing, like he just can't. He's never been out clubbing in his life because he just can't.
No, it's like when you and because obviously I met you lot on Twitter after I left Loughborough.
Yeah.
And once I found out you lived there, I was like, oh my bloody god.
It's like me and the other Josh now. Like
Yeah.
we used to live on the same street pretty much. I'm not gonna say my street on recording, but we used to live next, like down the road to each other, and we never spoke to each other. We never seen each other once. But it's just incredible. It's
and then I met you once I'd moved all the way up to Chesterfield. It was like.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things.
So you said that your mum kind of had an idea of what was going on. So how come she didn't contact the police or someone to try and get you help and get you out a bit sooner, or was it just because that sort of, I guess you don't want to snitch on your own family sort of thing?
No, it's got nothing to do with snitching on your own family. It's because you don't know the officer that's going to deal with it, and until something bad happens, you don't know whether they're going to try and prosecute you. So she could have rang up and said, "Oh yes, my son's a drug dealer," and that could have put me in jail. And that's all she's got to say. Whereas when I got robbed, I could actually give them the full details of everything that happened, and they could get a better picture of what happened and not put me on any sentences or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was easier for you to be involved to obviously say it, rather than your mum say it, because it would have went a lot worse for you. Okay.
So, all of this, did it have an effect, I guess, on your mental health, how you are as a person?
Well, on a normal day, I'd get back from college at about 7 o'clock when I finished at 5. So it'd take me 2 hours to get back on the bus. When I was hanging around with, I'm going to call them my associates, I would get back about 8 or 9 o'clock because I had to basically do what they said. They were basically my boss. If I didn't do what they said, that was bad news. So it did have an effect on my mental health because I was getting back really late. Plus, I'd just been used and sorry, Harrods were emailing me. So it was difficult with my mental health because I mentally was unstable around drug dealers. I thought they were my friends and they turned something else. And may I just say, one way they manipulated me is because they knew that I thought that they were my genuine friends. Is before all the drugs happened. They're having a house party and they wanted an Airbnb, and I had I'm not going to say how much, but a few £100 in my bank account. So they said to me, "Can you get the Airbnb and I'll pay you back in sections?" And they weren't being threatening at this point. I could have easily said no, and they even said, "Feel free to say no." And I said yes because I was just trying to be a kind guy, helping my mates out. And I wouldn't do it again, even if somebody wasn't a drug dealer. Like, if I met, I don't know, if I went to same college as you or Barry, and you said, "Can you give me even 20 quid?" I'd say no after this, because. But I said yes, and then they had this house party. They smashed tables, and it's got all my credit information on. So I had to pay for all this, and they never paid a penny back.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow, that's really fucking shit.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about now, then, Barry?
You pick a topic, mate.
Right. Okay. Oh, Lee's on his side again. Your camera's gone sideways, but not properly.
There we go.
There we go. That's better.
One more thing I want to say is that I forgot what I was going to say now. Because of all that.
We've all been in it.
Right, when I remember it, can I say it and then you like edit it to the right bit?
Yeah, I'll put it in later if you think.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Right. So hang on. You don't have to talk about this. Is it okay if we talk about when you were in the hospital? Because you said you tried to take your life. Is that an okay subject?
Yeah, that's a fine subject.
Okay. Right. That's probably so. So a few weeks ago, you told a few of us that you were in hospital in like a critical position because you sadly tried to take your own life. What was, I guess, what happened? Like, what was that?
What happened was, I just got my phone back from the police. It'd been gone for a couple of months, and these dealers tried to get back in contact with me because word had somehow got out that I got my phone back. So they tried getting in contact with me, and I tried asking my mum for support, and she raged. There was a whole family argument. It was too much, and I have epilepsy, so I take Epilin tablets. Yeah. So it's a chemical. It's called sodium valproate, and it's a very basically, if you take too many, it increases your heart rate. So I was supposed to have 3. I had about 6 or 7. And I had to ring the ambulance. And while all the screaming was going on, and my mum was like, "Why are you ringing an ambulance? You should be dealing with other things." But I still had to ring them. And they took my because they're professionals and they know what's going on. They took my heart rate and saw that it was really high, and they suggested that it was not safe for me to be at home because I can't just live my life. Like, this is how critical it was. This is why I called it critical. Is they said that my heart rate was so high that, and they told me this on the way, my heart rate was so high that if I decided I wanted to go out on like a COVID run for a mile or something, it may tip over the edge. So they wanted me in an environment where I could not leave, basically, without punishing you. So kind of like prison, but not. And I'll be honest, like, it was in the moment. I had no intention on killing myself, and like the reason I said I was critical condition was because of what they told me. Like, I only have to run a few. I only have to run for like a mile, trying to get some exercise, and that's it. I could fall to the ground, and they couldn't even give me my proper medication that night because I would, like, the doctors and nurses were so scared that I would be tipped over top, that it'd just be too much and I'd just die basically. So the thing is on Twitter I said that, to begin with, I told May, and when I said it to people, I put it in I was so a mixture of paranoia and upset that I made it worse than it made out. Basically, worded it wrong.
Yeah.
What I should have said is told you what I'm telling you now, the whole story. But I was so emotional sitting in hospital. I mean, there was one positive thing of me being in hospital, and that was I got tested for the coronavirus, so I know I don't have it. But that was literally the only thing. It made me very depressed, made me very upset. It wasn't somewhere I never want to be. They said my family can come and visit the next morning because under the National Poisons Act they have to keep you there for a minimum of 13 hours.
Yeah.
So they said my parents can come and visit the next morning, and then they said they weren't allowed. So that's another thing that got me down because I couldn't do this on my own, and it just. They wanted to know why I did it, and the reason I said why I did it was because of the drug dealers getting in contact with me. Had they not done that, I would have never tried to. Nobody made a joke on Twitter or anything that offended me. Nobody blocked me. Nobody did anything wrong. It was a criminal or a group of criminals, a gang, I will say, that just made me wanna die for that second, because it just got too much. And I understand where the backlash came from about me not really being in hospital for that. Like maybe I was going for another reason, and I just dramatized. And I get, I would think that somebody did the same. I really would. With me saying, especially Tom GW, that was.
His mic cut out. Shit. Your mic cut out.
We can't hear you. Sorry, can you go back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now,
yeah, can you go back from the GW bit?
Yeah. So, Tom GW, the reason I said mainly him was because he's purely the person that, within the whole, I'm going to call it a group on Twitter, within the whole group, he's the person I've known the longest, and he's the person that have the most, I'm going to call them man-to-man conversations with a lot of the time. And so that's why I put his name in there especially. And when it got made into a joke, it made me feel... It didn't make me feel worse, but it made me feel a bit more... Shit, what have I done? Because this looks bad. People think I'm like...
I won't lie. People
mocking me.
It was fake.
People are mocking me for thinking I'm taking my own life.
Yeah.
People think I'm literally mocking people who've committed suicide.
There was quite a lot of outrage from it, especially from like the Tom GW post. People thought that it was you sort of looking for attention or something. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, even I believed that, and we had words on Snapchat after that. But it wasn't fair on you, I suppose, to immediately jump to that. But I guess that was consensus.
I understand why you jumped to the conclusion, because let's pick anybody. Let's just say anybody. If somebody did it on Twitter, I would think the same of them. But I just wanted to the reason I put it out there was because I didn't want any people messaging me on Twitter or Snapchat, because when people were messaging me, it would have made me more emotional, which would have made me more unstable. So the point was to let you guys know for the next 24 hours, don't contact me, because I don't want it to push me over the edge. I'm not putting pressure on you. I'm not blaming you. But I just chose the wrong site. That's just how it was. But I completely understand why you jumped to conclusions you thought, and I just was sitting in and I thought, shit.
A lot of it is from a lot of people don't really know too much about you. So obviously some people saw it as just a joke straight away. Some people don't know that about, like, obviously right now you talk about the drugs. Not every single person who's gonna watch this knows about your drug story and how it affected you, because you just said it. So people now knowing that obviously there's more to it than.
Yeah, I think this whole sort of thing's gonna shine you in a different light. Like even I'm thinking like, I see you quite differently after everything we've spoken. It's
Yeah, and that was just, and you got to think, you know, when I was going through a lot of beef on Twitter,
Yeah.
like I was insulting a lot of people, that was purely because I was mixed in with very negative criminals.
Yeah.
And when you have that environment around you on a day-to-day basis,
You turn toxic.
you turn toxic. That spreads onto other people. And I don't want. I'm not asking for people to forgive me. What I'm saying is that was my normal persona because of the people I was around. If you'd met me a year before that, I would have been a straight talkable person that you can just talk to about. And this is why when I came back to Twitter, I made a big emphasis on clearing my name a bit, because I was mixed in with the wrong group of people, and I insulted people, and but that was purely because of the people I was around. It did have an effect mentally, and that's just why it happened. And hopefully, as I said, I'm not asking for people to forgive me, but hopefully you can kind of, if you watch
People
this,
will understand now, like,
then you will know why I was so beefy and so horrible back then.
fuck, I get you.
Yeah, I get you too. Well, yeah, I guess that covers that. Do you want to go to some questions that other people want to
we can go to some questions, okay? Because
Well, you got
obviously,
we tweeted out that we've
yeah.
got you here.
I tweeted out before we actually started recording. I just tweeted out asking if anybody has any last minute questions, Lee. So obviously these are from the people on Twitter who follow me. So
Okay, can you tell me who they're from? Like, who
yeah,
asked?
yeah,
we'll read them out in a second.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, so Molly Swabs, you know Molly Swabs.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. He asked, "What's your workout routine?" I think he wants the big body like you.
I mean, it just depends from day to day. If this is a serious question, and I'm not trying to belittle anyone here, if this is a serious question, it genuinely is that I go out, walk, come back. Some days I'll do push-ups, and I genuinely will do. Some days I won't. That's genuinely what. If it's a genuine question and it's not supposed to be comedic or anything, then that's what it is.
Marley. You never know with Marley. No,
well, this is the thing. So that's my honest answer.
Yeah, that's legit how mine is with fairness. Like I would agree. Like one day I will go for a run for an hour and then hit a boxing bag the next day, and then I won't do anything for a week, and then I'll do the same thing the next week, and it's
Right, okay. Next question is from Mrs. Sophia Booth. You remember her? Apparently, last October, you said that you were going to make a story time of a YouTuber you hooked up with. Sophia Booth wants to know, was that true, and who is the YouTuber?
I don't actually remember saying I hooked up. Oh no, I did hook up with the YouTuber. Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
No, I did.
Do you want a name drop them or
story time?
Do you want the story behind it? Or do you not want to drop the name?
I mean, they're not in our friendship group, I'll say. So you probably wouldn't even know them if I did name drop them. So I'll probably make a story time, but if I don't take it as any big deal, because thinking about the audience they appeal to and what they do, you probably wouldn't know them if I did name drop them. So it's no one on Twitter. So that's all.
Can you give us a ballpark of like how many subscribers they've got roughly? Like, is it like over a certain amount or?
Well, when I was going to their place, which was, let me think, 2018 just going into the beginning of 2019, about January. Yeah. That was they were about 1,000 subscribers then. I don't know what they're at now.
Wow. Big time league.
So it wasn't Sophia Booth who asked the question, so you didn't check Sophia Booth.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Everyone thinks it's Sophia.
No, I didn't.
Okay. You can ask your question now then, Barry. Pick a question.
I'm not going to say that because I don't know how to say that. Do you know Jay on Twitter? He does a lot of K-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked...
I think he actually... This is one that I've got blocked.
Oh,
I have the muted, so it's fine.
He asked, what's your favourite alcohol to drink?
I really like... I can't say the name properly. I really like vodka shots, I'll be honest.
I got a bottle of vodka on top of my thing. You can't see it. Let me move my camera up.
Barry,
I got a bottle of vodka up there.
Yeah. No, I don't. What I will say is that if I ever, if anybody ever goes to, I just want to add something. If anybody ever goes to VidCon and gets like a creator pass, they have like drinks there on, I think it's Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I will literally, and that's only for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think that's what the schedule's like. I will literally drink, talk to people, and by the end of it, about 9 o'clock, I'll be smashed out mad. So if you ever want to see Lee Larner get smashed out his head, go to VidCon, buy a creator ticket, and you'll see it.
Might be worth going now. Alright, it's me now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, let's go with the really random one. Our friend Amy wants to know, do you like pink hair on girls?
Yes, I do. Hit me up.
No, she was asking for a friend, actually.
She was asking for a friend, okay. No.
Oh dear. Go on then, Barry.
So one of them is by May, and obviously there's a big surrounding May, but we're not going to go into. Okay, but she asked, "Do you still want to shag?"
Wait, who says this?
May.
Who?
Oh, you've bodied like that.
Oh.
May, bro, you have history with May.
Oh, her.
I was gonna say, do you don't want me to put the screenshots of the combos or anything?
May, after you're watching this, if you just DM me on Twitter, I'll give you my phone number.
Oh, we're just gonna make this happen.
Big dope on this stuff.
I think that's pretty much it, other than what we've covered. Actually, wait, no. Sophia Booth wants to know again: are you a virgin?
No.
No, you're not.
That is a genuine, and this is no banter, no messing around it. That is a genuine. It's a genuine answer. I am actually not.
Would you say there's anything bad about being a virgin?
Yeah, what's wrong with being a virgin?
No, there's nothing bad.
Fucking dope. That's what we need to know. That's what we need to know. Okay, so that was honestly great podcast, and obviously thanks for coming on there.
Sorry, I've got one more question. Stop out.
Sorry.
Go. Chloe wants to know if you're still scared of her. You said you wouldn't go to Whitsey last year because you were scared of her beating you up.
Well, if I was still scared of her, I wouldn't be at the NEC in Birmingham on the same days of Whitsey going to Talkfest. So the answer to that is
it's
no.
fine. I'm scared of her too.
Who isn't? Big scary. Very cool.
I mean,
very scary.
She seems like an alright person. I have no problems with her.
Well, that's fair enough. I think she'll love to hear that. I'm sorry. Now you can do that.
Now I can continue. Okay. So obviously, thanks for coming on. Your links to your TikTok and your YouTube, your Twitter will all be in the description below. So if you want to go subscribe over there, feel free. Obviously, please just like, subscribe, share the podcast if you want to. If you don't want to, don't. If you got bored halfway through, I wouldn't be surprised.
If you want to see just clips, they'll be on my channel.
Yeah, his channel will be linked as well, sadly. So.
By the way, Josh, can I just say that King Jeans has just hit 100 subscribers, so well done.
I didn't even know that. I've deleted all my videos on the big dub. I have to upload again then.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, thank you.
Oh, that was a cluster.